let's say that being a mom and you have a daughter and she looks up at you, she says, "Oh, she's my role model." How are you going to be the best role model if you're only giving? If you're
Absolutely
only
right.
giving, 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 the daughter is going to grow up with the idea, I need to give to be loved. I need to give to others and forgetting yourself.
Welcome to another session of Voice It with Karishma. Today we have a really special guest with us. We have Monika Zampa from Amsterdam. She has kindly agreed to talk to us about some very interesting topics. She does beautiful work. She is an energy healer. She is also a woman who empowers other women. She works with successful women and she empowers them to lead better lives personally and professionally. She coaches women all across the globe to be better in their life. So, Monica, thank you so much for coming to the show today and thank you for being a part of this. I'm really happy that today we're going to be having a conversation about some real things, real conversation about things that a lot of women don't really talk about openly. So I'm glad that you're here and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, dear Karishma. I'm so honored to be here on this show. And I visited Mumbai 20 years ago as a tourist living in a hostel. And it's a privilege to be able to give back to the city with wisdom, which I gained in the last 25 years. So
Wow.
very honored.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, Monica, we begin with the journey. Can you tell us something about, how you started, even when you came to India, what your experience was like? So we would love to hear that from you.
So my life is very, very colorful and many wins and sometimes some losses. But when I was in Mumbai, I remember I remember the day when I was really ill and I was asked to feature in a Bollywood movie with Hrithik Roshan. Is it correctly?
Yes.
Yes. And then, and that's funny because 3 months prior to my travels, I thought, oh my God, he is so amazing. I would love to meet him. And there I was 3 months later, filming next to him, like really close to him, like I could touch him. And I was like, it's amazing, really an amazing. So for me, the city has a mixture of magic and also cruelty, poverty, extreme richness, lots of taboos. Um, Lots of taboos. And that's why I'm going to talk about one taboo today.
Yes.
And the journey I took is basically my business is me. It's my life journey. So I could become the woman I'm today. And I talk about toxic relationships. It breaks my heart to see so many ambitious, talented, and powerful women silently sizzling in a toxic relationships and they're ashamed and embarrassed to talk about it. So I do it. I talk about
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Which is one of the things that really intrigued me, and I would like to begin with that. Thank you for sharing that tidbit of the journey. Um, you know, with the growing time, with the growing ambitious nature with which we have to look at so many things. Women all over the world, they feel that they would have to sacrifice on their personal life if they want to grow professionally, or it's sometimes given a flavor that you would have to maybe slow down the professional aspect to be able to grow in your personal life or give in that much energy over there. I would like to know your thoughts on the whole aspect of how these toxic relationships are formed, how it kind of manifests in some women's life who are trying to do things professionally, and also your take on how it is that you work with women to kind of understand how they can break through these toxic relationship
it.
patterns.
Beautiful question. So let me just break it down. There are, I recently gave a talk in a very big summit and I prepared my talk and I did a research and I realized that 1 in 3 women are in toxic relationship. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And a growing number of teenage girls who will never ever talk about abuse or a toxic relationship, 33%. So it's really alarming. And mm, what I found from my own experience is that once you're in a toxic relationship, you feel inadequate, you feel that you are less than, that you cannot claim anything, you do not deserve anything, and your self-esteem goes really, really low. And you feel guilty because all these women, particularly the successful women, they think like, but I'm so intelligent, I'm so wise, I'm so powerful at work. How come do I end up in a toxic relationship? And what I personally discovered is because we want to be loved. We want to be deeply, deeply loved. Because we want to be loved so desperately that we enter into a relationship with a partner who is less than physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, and we cling, we really grab tightly, we take little crumbles, little pieces of the love the person gives us, and we are grateful for it, but we deserve more. So to kind of say that shortly is that we are desperately wanting love, and we are searching the love outside,
Yeah,
not inside.
true.
So that's my own experience, my own research, and how I help women is how to rise from a toxic relationship is that, first of all, I am very controversial and outspoken, but first of all, you need to fall really, really down. We cannot rise before we fall. And it's a paradoxical nature of us humans that we need to fall so deep that it has to be so painful, unbearably painful, and then we make a decision.
Yeah,
When we say enough is enough, I can't take it anymore, then we take a decision.
it's the rise of the phoenix from the ashes, right?
Yes, and that could be that kind of decision making time could be 1 year, 2 years, 20 years,
Yes.
30 years, or never. It's so depending where you are in which society and how do you surround yourself, with whom you surround yourself. If you are surrounded by people who are small-minded, very much driven by doctrine of the society, it's highly unlikely you will be able to rise. It's crucial to surround yourself with an amazing, powerful women.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. Have you seen some red flags? Like, would you like to elaborate on some red flags which instantly give you a view of this relationship is definitely toxic, or over time it's going to become toxic?
Yes. So in my freebie, which we'll talk about it later, so let's see, like we have two categories. One is like you don't have a relationship yet and you are dating. That's one part. But the second part is when you're already in relationship. So I'll do the first one when you are dating, looking for a new partner. If the person is overly complimentary, he bombards you with messages, you don't even know them, and they really it's just too much. You think, oh my god, give me a space, this is too much compliments. Then they say you can see me but you cannot see the other person. They start to negatively talk about your friends and a family, and they try to possess you.
Yeah.
That's definitely a red flag of toxic relationship. Also, if the person doesn't look after their own appearance or finances or health, if they cannot treat themselves nicely, their own temple, don't love themselves, it's highly unlikely they will love you.
True.
Stay
Yes,
away. Hence,
absolutely.
stay away. And once you're already in a relationship, so let's say you are married with 2 kids, 40, and the relationship is on officially very going very well, but behind the closed doors, you experience that you are afraid to voice your opinion because the other person is going to criticize you.
Yes.
When you are thinking twice before you voice your truth,
Yes.
or you're walking at home on eggshells, you are actually you don't know what to do. That's not a healthy relationship. That corrodes your self-esteem.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about physical abuse. That's something which I don't particularly deal with, but physical abuse is easily spotted than the emotional. And the
I couldn't agree
emotional
more.
is drip by drip, drop by drop, and you don't even know you're in it until one day the last drop gets the glass and it's just too much and it overflows. And then you say, enough.
Yes. Thank you for highlighting that. I think it's so important for a lot of women to understand red flags from the beginning. And once they kind of notice a pattern of certain behaviors, they can take a step earlier, if not too late. And um, it's so nice that you mentioned this aspect about walking on eggshells at home, not being able to express your opinions. My next question actually comes from there, that um, you're an energy healer, and we speak so much about the masculine energy and the feminine energy. We speak about the balance of that, the yin and the yang in everyone. And I've seen this in India, and I've seen this in lots of different areas where so many people would tell a woman that you're too masculine. There's a lot of masculine energy that you have, and that's the reason why your relationships are not going that well. Or we look at men and we tell the men, you're too feminine about certain things. Expressing your emotions, the way you dress or the way you behave is just too feminine. And that's the reason why probably you don't really do that well professionally. I would love for you to explain to us this balance of the, feminine and masculine energy, and how you view this.
Yeah, so is it so when I listen to your questions, like, is it necessary to have a balance between the feminine and the masculine energy? My answer is no. There is no such thing as balance. Balance is boring. Perfection is boring. We are all imperfect people, right? So once you realize that we all take imperfect actions and we're moving forward, that's actually our goal. Our goal in life is to make lots of small imperfect actions.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. It's just this myth all over the place where people keep talking about perfectionism and there is this balance. And I completely agree with what you said. There's no such thing as balance. You'll never be
No.
able to achieve it.
If you have a look at the Barbie and Ken, you will see that they are not perfect and they are really freaky. So talk about the masculine and feminine. Um, so I'm a businesswoman and I have a tribe who supports me. And what I've learned is that there is a time in, so our audience is probably feminine, I'm not sure, but let's say that, but even men, there's a time has 30 days, and in those 30 days there is a time to be 100% feminine and there's a time to be 100% masculine.
Mm.
So for to be successful in business and in life, I don't like to use the word should, but you can choose to honor the masculine when you want to make a business strategic actions. You tap into your masculine, you tap into your warrior woman, the one who goes and get it. You know that when you have a child and there's suddenly a car driving and the child can die, you pick up a car,
Yeah.
you stop the traffic, you do it.
Yes.
That energy, that's your masculine, that's the warrior, you tap into it. But also, we women are feminine and we need to tap into our feminine energy, is to relax, nurture, go to beauty treatments, go outside, look at the stars, look at the trees, listen to good music, to fill our energetic body to complete overflow of self-love.
Yes.
So that's how it works. And I would even say for women, I would say 70% of feminine, nurturing yourself, and 30% of masculine.
Yes, it's interesting how you mentioned the word nurturing with self love. We always think that when the feminine energy is associated with nurturing, it's about giving that nurture to people. And very often, we never speak about the fact, which is so important, that that nurturing has to come to yourself first. And it begins from there.
Yes, and it's really tricky to allow this to happen because we have been subjected as females for hundreds and hundreds of years of submission all around the world.
Yes.
Submission and playing roles, and this you can do, that you can do. If you're outspoken, then you're burned or killed, many times. So that's what I see in my energetic healings when I travel to the past.
Yes.
Many women, even myself, I was also killed many times for speaking my truth. So for me to speak right now, I needed to calm my energetic body that it's safe.
Yes.
But many women don't feel that. And what was I talking about?
You were telling us about why it is so important to do the nurture within yourself first.
Thank you. So if you are if you're a mum and you're a businesswoman and you also have a household, there are three jobs, and also yourself, four jobs.
Jobs,
Like
yes.
a sister or a daughter, there are many, many roles you play. How Let's say that being a mom and you have a daughter and she looks up at you, she says, "Oh, she's my role model." How are you going to be the best role model if you're only giving? If you're
Absolutely
only
right.
giving, 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 the daughter is going to grow up with the idea, I need to give to be loved. I need to give to others, and
Yes.
forgetting yourself.
Yes, yes. It's so important to do that. And this is one of the things which I, when I coach and when I counsel women as well, I say the same thing, that we come from a mentality of just giving, and that's what our role becomes. But that giving first has to start to yourself, and then it kind of orbits into the other people, and that's where the real work starts. That's where it starts from.
Yes. And when we did talk before this interview, you asked me, like, what would be the advice? Because when you are in a relationship, imagine that you are in a toxic relationship and you've been giving for 30 years, and suddenly, that Monica comes from Amsterdam, says, "Oh, you should give to yourself." You don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
You have forgotten how to nurture your body and your mind. So I have developed a method called Diamond Method. And first of all, is to realize who, who you are, what is your pattern, what is your family, what is your society. Because if you are born in India, you have a different cultural roots
Yeah.
and limitations than someone in Ghana or someone in Europe. We have all different cultural karmic lineages.
Yes.
But the second most important thing is to do a mirror work. Mirror work is a practice where in 28 days you are able to rewire, change the way you think about yourself, because our brain has this an amazing ability to stretch our neurons, neuroscience, so we can, if you've been doing something all over again for 30 years, once you decide I want to be different, you
Yeah.
can rewire it and put a new belief. So mirror work is standing in front of a mirror and for 28 days saying, I'm amazing, I'm wonderful, I'm worth it, I'm clever, I'm beautiful. And you keep repeating it while in the back of your mind you have all these, no, it's not true, that's not true. And then you start hearing the voices. And but if you start continuing doing it
Yes.
in 28 days, you create automatic response. And when you see yourself in the mirror, you just say, I'm amazing. And that will stay with you for the rest of your life.
Yes, yes, that's beautiful. And also another thing that I've noticed is you don't let anybody else's opinion affect you, because I do this, and a lot of people who watch me doing it always tell me that I think she's crazy. And so, that's another thing which would affect women if they were trying to do this practice on a daily basis. So I think, what you just said is so beautiful, and then not letting anybody else's voices affect you, because more often than not, it's not just your voice, but it's that outer voice that keeps coming to you.
Yeah, because yourself, because in order to become immune to other people's opinions, it's like an armor. If you see yourself as, I always use props.
Yeah,
This is women,
yeah,
glass of
yeah,
water, right? And in order for you to be immune to all this, you need to make your vessel really tight and full of love for
yes,
yourself,
yes,
not for other, for yourself. And once you really love yourself deeply, the other opinions will come to you, but you think like, I know I'm better, I know I'm good, and
yeah.
they will fall off. So it's a step. First of all, self-love, the mirror work, or whatever practice you want to do. There are many other energetic practices,
Yes.
tools, and then slowly you start to be immune to the people's opinions. But it doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey.
It is. It is. Thank you for highlighting that. I think, if whoever's listening, if they resonate and they feel like, they need that kind of energy, they need the kind of, you just validated the point which I have been thinking in my mind for so long. So I feel, people should reach out to you if they would like to kind of, understand more about the energetic work that you do, more to be able to open their own energy channels. You just mentioned this beautiful thing called the vessel, and that vessel needs to be energized. So I think anybody looking to kind of do those kinds of activities could definitely reach out to you, and they could, avail of all the beautiful healing techniques that you have. So thank you for sharing that beautiful journey.
Absolutely, very welcome. Yes. And I will be happy to guide people, to put them on a path. You have to walk the path yourself. And very often women are embarrassed to ask for help. They are embarrassed and ashamed, and they are behind the closed doors crying their eyes out, and it doesn't have to be like that. If you find in your surrounding, could be me, could be anybody else, who you really trust and you resonate, I urge you to reach out, because you're doing it not only for yourself but for your children.
Yes, yes,
Completely.
absolutely. You do that for your children is because you mentioned this thing before. You said a very beautiful thing that means that if a child looks up to you, they don't listen to what you say, but they actually kind of copy you. They see what you
Yeah.
do and they absorb that. So if a child grows up looking at a parent who is confident, who has filled their own vessel first and then goes and fills somebody else's vessel, it teaches the child to do the same and empowers the child from a very young age.
Yes, and
That's
they
so
will
important.
be much better at school, because children at school could be cruel, but if you imagine that your child is full of love and confident and confidence, and the dreams are supported, if your mom is fulfilling her dreams and desires and visions,
Yes.
and she's passionately doing it every single day, what a beautiful story, what a beautiful
Yes.
image she's going to get.
Yes. You
That's
have
what I think.
validated. No, I agree. I agree. You have validated so many things, which, I inculcate in my life, which I also tell people. You have beautifully validated and you've come out and given us such a strong voice for all these things, which every woman needs to have in her life. So thank you for doing that. I think it was beautiful that you actually opened up and said so many things which a woman knows within is so difficult to kind of accept it. But then, when with more strong women like you, with more people who come out and talk about these things so openly and empower other people, um, um, it's creating that tornado. It's creating that little bit of a change now. And I think it's lovely to be able to listen to all the things that you said. And I think everyone who's listening should understand that not only does this come from your experience, but it also comes from the work that you do with people, because you're meeting so many women every day. You're helping them heal from toxic relationships. You're seeing the real sides of everything and not just from an educational point of view. So
That's true. And I'm not ashamed to admit it, that actually all my experience comes from my life. And
yeah.
from my life experience, I studied some, but I'm not, I rather spend 5 years working with people and healing myself so I can heal others than spending 5 years in university.
Yes.
So, um, what I wanted to say also, that when people listen to me think, oh yes, she has it made, she's so intelligent, she's so confident speaking, but I wasn't confident 3 years ago. So if there is a woman listening and thinks, yeah, but I have nothing to share, it can never happen to me because I'm in this situation, that situation, I've changed, and so many other women also has changed. So if
Yes.
I can do it, so can you.
Absolutely. The same, I would like to add to it, because I feel like this is something that so many women are afraid of. I see the work you do. I've seen the beautiful journey that you've been on and empowering other women. So many women have a difficulty to face the camera. So many women have difficulties of expressing their opinions online or even in their own private circles. It's something as simple as I wouldn't know how to use a camera or talk in front of a camera 3 years ago, just like you.
Yeah, me neither.
And I taught myself that. I went through the trial and errors. I did everything that I wanted to do. And you get a little you get a little criticism on the way. You accept it, and then you just make yourself better. And then 3 years down the line, you're teaching other women to do this. And I think, what other beauty than this?
Yeah, exactly. You're so right. And I did the same. 3 years ago, I thought that I have nothing to share. No one's going to listen to me. I have no story. Who is going to be interested in my story? And I didn't know how to do any live podcast, not even public speaking. I learned everything on the way. And why I'm so consistent, because I found my why I'm doing it.
Yes.
And the road journey is up and down. There are lots of, unpleasant moments, or you doubts, or you don't feel good and you question yourself. The results are not coming quickly enough. But my why is that I've been through toxic relationships and I know how to get out of it. And there are so many women right now suffering. And if there's a help, that's my duty to show them that there is a help, there is possible. That's, you know, that's it.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Monica, for, empowering me, empowering everyone who's listening. It's been beautiful to actually listen to all your thoughts, and the way that, you beautifully express things which so many women want to, but you're already here doing that. And, we did have a conversation in the beginning that you have some beautiful gifts that you want to give out to the listeners. Can you elaborate on the freebies that you have for everyone?
Yes. So I have two freebies. One is 7 signs to toxic, how to spot a toxic relationship. I mentioned in the beginning of the interview. And it could be that even if you are in a relationship, it's always good to check if you may be in a toxic relationship, because it's not easily spotted. And there are 7 signs, you can read them. And if you have a teenage daughter, please give it to her.
Yes.
She goes on a date, so
Yes.
she will know if that particular person is potentially narcissistic or manipulative or toxic. And I have another offer. If people want to get in contact with me, I have a discovery calls. There are 30, 40 minutes calls where many people reach amazing breakthroughs and also healings,
Yes.
because I tap into your heart. I don't tap into your brain, but into your heart.
Yes.
So you are very welcome to reach out. And most of the information is on my website. And I'm sure there are many details and many links which we can share.
Yes, we will be sharing all the links. Thank you, Monica, for the freebies. I'm glad that you were somebody who created this little manual that we can actually give to the younger girls who are or anybody, as a matter of fact, who is out there dating and has to know a few rules as far as the personal empowerment is concerned. So thank you for that. I'm sure whoever tunes in and avails this can also call you and get into a discovery call with you. This has been beautiful. I'm just so happy that we got into this conversation and we've spoken about so many nice things. It's been a pleasure to have you on this episode.
Thank you so much. It was a really pleasure, and especially in Mumbai, I'm so touched. So yes, I my message before I go is like, ladies, never give up your dreams. Just continue walking your dreams towards your dreams, and it will come. It will manifest.
Yes, I would second that. Thank you.
Thank you.